Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today, we may be crossing a boundary we're not supposed to cross. At the moment, there's a lot of discussion about the ongoing official disclosure of UFOs. And it appears outwardly that, especially after Congress has signed into the new defense budget money for a special office to investigate publicly UFO sightings, it does appear that, the door has been opened and everything from henceforth will be available to everyone regarding findings about UFOs or UAPs and extraterrestrials. There's been lots of comments made by officials in the media that yes, these things exist, but no, we have no idea what they are. Now, today I'm going to show you something which suggests this might not be the whole truth. And this rabbit hole goes back quite a few decades. Let's imagine you're from the 1980s. You're intelligent, you're worldly wise, you pretty much know how the world works. And for some reason, you end up in the 2020s, or even 2006. Wherever you look, you keep seeing this strange symbol. You even, after much investigation, discover that people refer to it as the @ symbol. Hurrah! You've discovered a symbol. You even know what it's called, but you have no idea whatsoever what to do with it. People will even tell you it's part of an email address. But you're from the 1980s. You have no idea what an email address is. So, you've got the symbol, you've seen where it's applied, or you know where it's applied, but this still means absolutely nothing to you because you have no connection with it. Today, I'm going to show you a symbol which you will begin to see everywhere, and always in the same context. Look hard enough at any company, organisation, media or endeavour involving space, and chances are you will find the swoosh symbol. Why this symbol appears to be globally applied remains a mystery. Even NASA provides different answers for its own use of the chevron. In its original meatball insignia of 1959, it was supposedly used to represent aeronautics. Recently, they stated that the design was chosen to represent the delta wing shape of aircraft back in the good old days. Was Gene Roddenberry, creator of Star Trek, also trying to immortalize delta wing aircraft or 50s aeronautics when he chose the chevron as the symbol of the Galactic Federation? Or perhaps China was so enamored by 50s American aircraft that they too chose the symbol known as the delta, chevron or swoosh as their logo. And Iran, huge fans of all that is American, obviously chose their logo for the same reason.
and used it again for their Space Research Centre, as did India and Canada. Elon Musk must have loved the concept so much that it was chosen for the SpaceX logo. Sir Richard Branson didn't even need to adapt his logo to join the Swoosh Club. As can be seen, the delta, swoosh or chevron is apparent throughout the space industry. Sometimes it's obvious, like how it is used by the Russian space agency Roscosmos, where it is angular and distinct. Interestingly, the Russians use both the angular and curved versions, and this makes me wonder if they aren't two distinct separate sigils, something we will look at later. The Japanese Space Agency uses the angular delta format multiple times in their logo. South Korea places the delta prominently, whereas North Korea, huge fans of NASA and everything American, go with the curved swoosh. The Italians use both. The British have their own take on the design. Sometimes it is subtly blended in to the overall design. So if it's not a global fascination with 50s delta wing aircraft, even amongst sworn enemies, then what's behind the use of the swoosh, delta or chevron in every aspect of the space industry, from corporations supplying the technology, to individual nations, to specific space missions? Even space-based games such as No Man's Sky. And then there are the TV series, such as V, which featured a race of reptilian aliens which planned to invade Earth by disguising themselves as humans and eventually letting their intentions become clear. Or Stargate, both the film and the series. And is there a difference between the curved and angled symbols? The newly introduced US Space Force raised a lot of eyebrows because of how similar its logo is to that used by Star Trek's Galactic Federation. This was clearly not an oversight, nor do I believe it was done in tribute to Roddenberry. Even if, in the 1970s, Roddenberry had joined with medium Phyllis Scheimer to psychically channel messages from the Council of Nine, an extraterrestrial group with a vested interest in humanity and its development, something akin to Star Trek's Galactic Federation. No, the swoosh goes back earlier than that. Most likely to the alleged meetings between President Eisenhower and various extraterrestrial races in 1954 and 1957, which led to the alleged signing of the Greada Treaty, whereby humans would receive technology in exchange for allowing people to be abducted and experimented on. NASA started using its swoosh symbol in 1959 and called the logo the meatball. Was it ironically referring to planet Earth and humanity's position, or perhaps purpose, on it? Whatever the original reasoning, or whatever led to its global use, one thing is extremely clear. Disparate nations, selfishly pursuing their own agendas, don't all start conforming to some unknown code unless there is a very good reason to do so. Something higher and perhaps scarier than the sum of the individual parts. Perhaps this new disclosure trend will eventually lead to the public's understanding of the significance of the swoosh.
What that symbol means, I can only hypothesize. And hopefully you can hypothesize also. Perhaps by getting this symbol out there and having more eyes on the problem, more brains working, we can collectively confirm what it means. There are only a few times in recent human history when I can think that humanity as a whole, or at least those in charge of humanity, have come together collectively and agreed on certain things. One was the Antarctica Treaty. Another was the recent pandemic situation and the response to it. Both of these mutual agreements have their own unusual aspects, which are still greatly open to debate. And the third one involves humanity's exploration of outer space. In fact, humanity's exploration of anything beyond our atmosphere. Hopefully, this has given you food for thought. My own personal hypothesis, and this is based purely on my interest in sigils, symbolism, and identification of where this symbol is used. I believe it represents either Earth or humanity, possibly both. I also believe it is not our symbol, or it is not from a human language. Whoever gave us this symbol did it for a reason. And they did it with obviously extremely strict conditions. Otherwise, it would not be universally used. My belief, my personal hypothesis, is this is the symbol for us or our planet, and it is like our passport for leaving the planet. It identifies us as being us, or from whence we came.
But what if I've got it wrong? What if the swoosh doesn't represent humanity or Earth at all? What if it in fact represents our watchers? It does bear an uncanny resemblance to the shape of the Fresno nightcrawlers.
This suggests to me that this modern disclosure from official sources is ignoring the fact that for at least 50 years official organizations have been using all around the world the same symbol for any activity to do with space. Which means not only have they known about UFOs and extraterrestrial entities prior to this new disclosure, but they are beholden to them. As always, be free.